Welcome once again to Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, joined alongside Smithson Valley head coach Larry Hill. The Rangers are heading into the bye week this week, and they're coming off of a win going into the bye, a 51-7 win over Canyon, evening up their district record at 1-1. And Coach, let's start there. The team had lost the week before, a tight game against Clemens, but your team refused to let that loss linger. Just how impressed were you with the approach they took against the Cougars this past Friday?
Well, I was very impressed, particularly during the week. You know, it leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, particularly when you lose a close one against another good team. And they came in the following Saturday morning and then followed that up Monday through Thursday with some good workouts and some, not pouting, just what do we do next? Mm-hmm. And, for them to go out Friday and have that kind of performance and get a payoff for that was pretty satisfying.
Season high, 51 points scored for you against Canyon on Friday. You did a bulk of your damage on the ground, 487 yards rushing for you. Whether it was between the tackles, off the perimeter, it seemed like you did whatever you wanted to do running the football.
Well, I thought our offensive line played well, and I thought too, early on we had some explosive plays throwing the football and off-run game, and I think that helped set up our running game, really throughout the rest of the game. Luke Albert made some really good reads, and because he did, got some pretty easy throws for touchdowns, I guess 3 of them in the early going. And from that point forward, we were able to run the ball off those pass looks, and O-line played well, our backs played well. It was just a good all-around performance by our offense.
2 weeks ago, you pitched a shutout against Madison. The week after that, in the 26-6A opener, you essentially held Clemens to 8 points. And then this past Friday, you limited Canyon to the only touchdown. They scored just 7 points. Now at the halfway point of the season, how impressed have you been with the play of your defense?
Well, I think it's certainly one of our strengths. I think it starts up front. I think our front four is playing very well, but very difficult to block, and that makes life a little bit easier for our linebackers in secondary. And limiting explosive plays, I think, is important in this day and age of football. It's very rare you just stone somebody 3 plays in a row, but more and more offenses are spreading the field and creating 60-yard runs and 70-yard passes by spreading you out. And the other night we gave up only 3 explosive plays to an offense that had created a number of them against every opponent they played. So, our coaches do a good job on defense, our players do a good job on defense, and hopefully that can continue to carry us.
Ideally, you would think the bye week should come at the exact halfway point of the season, 5 games afterwards in a 10-game year, and that's the case for you again this year. So that being said, does the bye come at a good time?
Well, it's always, when you come off a convincing win like that, it's always double-edged. On the one hand, it gives you a little bit of a chance to step out and see what else is going on in the world, get your head out of the submarine a little bit, rest and heal, recharge your battery. At the same time, you want to stay sharp and practice well. And if you are on a little bit of a run, maybe we need another game in 7 days. Let's don't take a week off. But it is what it is. It is for the whole district. Everybody's off, not just us.
Right.
And so a little different kind of week, but it comes at a good time all in all.
Again, Smithson Valley, a 51-7 win over Canyon, so there are a number of big plays to choose from. We're going to highlight just a few in this week's Plays of the Week.
Let's take a look. Our first big play is a kicking game play, and it comes very early in the ball game. We kicked off deep, and our defense had a 3-and-out. And now we got Trey Moore, who you can barely see, but the arrow indicates his position. Just a few plays into the game, is going to go in and block a punt and get us 2 points on a safety right away. You see the snap, there's Trey extending, brushes off a block, gets his hands up, blocks the kick, but doesn't rough the kicker. And as you see, the ball squirts into the end zone. Nearly get it for a touchdown. Cullen Betsy recovers it, but before he can gain full possession, we're out of the end zone, so it does go down as a 2-point safety. But a big play, a big momentum shifting play. There's Trey Moore. You get a little better look at it here from the rear. You can see he slips the tackle's block there and then blocks the kick, and there it is, hoping to get a touchdown. As I said, there's Cullen making a play on the ball. By the time he recovers, as I said, it's out of the end zone, but a safety. Huge play, great momentum shift, and then just a Just a few plays later, defensively, we make a big play with our senior safety, Mason Livingston. Mason's noted with the circle around him. We get good pressure. Quarterback has to throw that thing quick and off his back foot, throws it down the middle. Mason appears off the screen there, undercuts the post route that they're trying to run, picks the pass off, and now he's headed upfield. We pick up several blocks. He makes a little spin move there as he does, and he's taken down pretty hard on the other side of the 50, but just a huge play by Mason. Here it is from the rear. You get an idea of how it happened. We get pretty good pressure coming from the outside, forces the quarterback to step up, and if you notice, he kind of throws that thing off his back foot. He's not able to get a whole lot on the ball because of the pressure, which causes the ball to hang, and Mason makes a play on it right there. Now he starts picking up some blocks. We've got one there with Carson Padilla. I think that's Trey Moore picking up another block. Got a few more blocks coming. We get about a 16, 17-yard return, sets our offense up in great field position. The third and final big play is an offensive play. This is an 84-yard touchdown run by Greg Eggleston that's going to be made possible by the contributions of others. First, you see Ryan Binka, number 63, pulling on a sweep play. And then Luis Camacho, one of our fullbacks, is also pulling and being an escort for Greg. As the play unfolds, you see Ryan's block there on the outside linebacker, and Greg's able to cut up under that block, and then Luis does the same on the cornerback. And that allows Greg to get initially into his cut. And you get a few other seal-in blocks. You see about 3 of them there taking place. So he's got a step. And of course, if Greg gets a step on you, even though the angles look like the Canyon kids could catch him, you know, Greg's pretty good at outrunning the angle. 84 yards later, he's in the end zone. This is the one that probably put the game away, even though it's still in the third quarter. Get a little shot here from the rear. There's Devin Smith, senior offensive tackle, blocking the middle linebacker inside. And our tight end over here, that's Will Ford, one of our junior tight ends. He gets a block on the backside safety. And those mentioned blocks earlier help get Greg down the sideline. 84 yards later, as I said, touchdown. Well-executed play on a lot of people, and of course, Greg using his speed. And those are our plays of the week.
All right, Coach, so in the plays of the week, you highlighted one of each phase of the game, special teams, offense, defense, but I want to go back to special teams. Every week, I'm asking you for your keys to the game, and you say we've got to make a difference-making play in the kicking game. Now you're 5 games into the season. How well do you feel as if your special teams are performing?
Well, it's like every phase of our game. We've got some things we still need to improve on, but I think it's playing well. You know, we blocked the punt, as you mentioned the other night. We've had some good returns. Our kickoff coverage has been good. I feel like our punters, with a rugby style, playing keep away with returners, are getting better and better. We had a 52-yarder the other night that was down on the 4-yard line. The week before, I think we pinned them on the 1-yard line. So, you know, we're doing some things well there. We still want to block more kicks. We got one the other night. Our punt return, kickoff return game has been solid, but we haven't taken it to the house yet. So, you're never satisfied. But all in all, I think those units are playing well.
Well, again, Smithson Valley, a win over Canyon from this past Friday, 51-7. They're now 3-2, and more importantly, 1-1 in 26 6A play going into the bye week. Up next for Smithson Valley, they'll host East Central a week from this Friday. Again, we'll preview coming up later in the show. But up next, senior moments, Rangers trivia, and more. We're back with more of Inside Rangers football right after this.
Mom Needs a Break Cleaning is the professional service you can trust. Thorough, careful, and affordable. We take care of all your home cleaning needs so Mom can take care of the important things in life. Isn't it time you came home to a spotless house without the hours of back-breaking work? Call Mom Needs a Break Cleaning for an over-the-phone estimate and to set your personalized cleaning schedule with us today. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is teaming up with the Smithson Valley Rangers. When you stop to gas up, look for the Ranger Spirit Pump. A portion of sales from this pump will be donated directly to the SB Athletic Booster Club to help out our Rangers. So choose the one that's Ranger Blue and fill up. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Still to come, a preview of Smithson Valley's next game a week from this Friday against East Central, but now Let's have some fun with this week's Senior Moment. So once again, here's Emily Wick. Emily.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. So I'm here with Carson, Jacob, and Eric today. Hey guys, are y'all ready for a little Senior Moments trivia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you know what you're playing for today?
No.
A piece of Ranger history. This turf right here spent a lot of years outside and a lot of greatness has gone through. This turf has seen all kind of action. So y'all ready for this?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do this. All right, guys, you ready for your first question?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Which mammal is the only mammal capable of flight? I'll give you, oh, Jacob.
Is it an eagle?
It is not an eagle. An eagle is not a mammal. I will give you a hint. It's black. And it eats mosquitoes. And it lives in caves. Carson?
It's a bat.
It is a bat. Good job. For a bonus question, does anyone know where the largest bat cave in the world is?
No.
Anyone? Anyone?
I want to say like the U.S. It's somewhere in the U.S.
It is, and it's closer than you think. Jacob?
Is it Natural Bridge Cavern?
Pretty close. It is the Bracken Bat Cave. It is just down the road from us. There are 20 million free-tailed bats that live there. Pretty cool, huh? You've got to go. I've been there. It's pretty wild. They come out and it's like this tornado of bats and they go around and they just keep coming and coming and coming. It's pretty awesome. Put it on your to-do list. Got a football question for y'all. Who knows how many teams exactly are in the NFL? Jacob?
32.
32 is right. You get a point. We're going to have a little challenge. Each of you are going to have 20 seconds to name as many NFL teams as you can. We're going to start with Carson. All right, Carson, you ready? And go.
Vikings, Cardinals, Cowboys, Ravens, Redskins, right, and Saints. Patriots, Chiefs, 49.
At time. 9. You got 9, Carson. All right, Jacob, you think you can beat that?
I hope so.
All right, I'm going to tell you when. Get ready and go.
Cowboys, Texans, Saints, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Jets, the Giants,
And time. You got 9. Good job, Jacob. We've got a tie. Eric, you think you can bust this tie up and pull to the lead?
I'll try my best.
All right, get ready and go.
Raiders, Cowboys, Patriots, Dolphins, Chiefs, Cardinals, Ravens, Saints, Cowboys, blank, Bengals. Oh, I went blank.
I don't know how y'all managed to do it, but you all got 9. So we're gonna have a little tiebreaker. What is the only team without a logo on their helmets? Jacob.
the Browns.
The Browns is right. Good job. Next question. How many rings make up the Olympic rings?
5.
Eric. 5 is right. Good job. Not only is this next question a football question, it's a Ranger football question. How many times have the Smithson Valley Rangers appeared in the state championship for football? Oh, Jacob.
3 times.
3 times is right. Good job. For a bonus point of 3 points, who can name the years? Eric?
2005.
No. Nope. Carson?
2002 and 2003.
Oh, no.
Was 2005 close?
Jacob?
Was it 2001, 2002, 2004?
Yes, Jacob, nice. Good job, you know your Rangers. Nice.
He is 4, dude.
Well, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for coming and playing with me today. Jacob, you, however, are the winner. There had to be a winner, and it is you. Coach Brant, back to you.
Go Rangers!
All right, Emily, good stuff as always. Enjoy seeing your moments with you each and every week. Right now, we go to another weekly segment. Time for this week's Rangers Trivia. This week in Rangers Trivia, Smithson Valley's Greg Eggleston racked up 232 yards rushing on Friday on just 11 carries, and for the season is now averaging nearly 12.5 yards per rushing attempt. The single-season record for yards per carry is held by which Ranger? Is the answer A, Jeff Shin, B, Clint Haney, or C, Lawrence Madison? The answer is B, Clint Haney. Haney averaged over 8 yards a carry in the 2001 season, finishing with 1,296 yards on the ground that season, the 6th most in team history. So yes, again, Greg Eggleston, a very explosive player so far this season, but as we said in the trivia, Clint Haney was pretty explosive in his own right back in 2001.
He was. That's a team went all the way to the state championship game, lost in overtime. Clint, of course, was a big part of that and played at University of Texas. And talked to him on the phone the other day. We've got to get his son's Pop Warner team straightened out. They on a little bit of a losing streak. Got to get that straightened out, and those boys will be playing for the Rangers here before long.
Well, the Rangers also, before long here, will be playing East Central, and that's a game we're going to preview coming up next as the Rangers get ready to take on the Hornets a week from this Friday. Back with that preview after this on Inside Rangers Football.
Building links between people. Connections are real, finite, tangible experiences, ones you'll never forget. GVTC understands and delivers connections for their customers every day. I'm Luke Gombert, and GVTC has me connected.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Coming off of a bye week, Smithson Valley will be hosting East Central at Ranger Stadium. The Hornets will come into this game with a record of 4-1. They are one of 3 teams with a 2-0 record in 26 6A plays. They've opened up district with wins over San Marcos and most recently over New Braunfels. And coach, over the past 3 games, the Hornets have found a way to win all by 7 points or fewer. One of those wins coming in overtime to open district play against San Marcos. This is a football team that keeps finding ways to win games.
Yeah, Coach Hubbard and his staff done a great job. Really, the last 2 years have just made dramatic improvement. And as you said, they're one of the undefeated teams. And that's kind of how it goes in 26 6A. You look up, you win a game, and here comes another one. Here comes another one. And very explosive, have a really fine running back, defensively playing very well with their front 7. And as always, they'll be a challenge to beat. But, what is it that we can do better? How can we improve our game? And then we'll put it out there against them and see what happens.
You said a very fine running back. That is D'Angelo Rosemont, already over 600 yards rushing this season, more than 100 per game, 9 rushing touchdowns. Offensively as a whole, more than 36 points a game, and fairly balanced outside of Rosemont at running back too. What else can you tell us about the East Central offense?
Well, you mentioned balance. He's not the only one making plays. And I'm sure the young man would tell you their offensive line is playing well. They've got a number of starters back from a year ago. And from a year ago, from 17, I thought that was the most dramatically improved part of their team. A lot of those kids are back. And people are just having a hard time getting off blocks. And then you take a back like him, I'm having a hard time getting off this block, and then I can't get this kid down. And So tall order, and when you gang up on them, try to stack the box, then they've been effective throwing the football as well. So life in 26-6A.
Right.
Don't pat yourself on the back too long for winning, because here we go again.
Again, the Hornets' most recent win came over to Braunfels from this past Friday, and that's a good unicorn offense. And in the second half, East Central shut them down. New Braunfels did not score in the second half of that game. What tendencies do the Hornets have defensively? How do they make life difficult on offenses?
Well, I think their secondary plays well and tries to take away what you do best in the throwing game, force you to run the ball, and those two inside linebackers are really good players at stopping the run, and have been very, haven't tried to be real complicated on defense, try to be good at what they do. And they prevent people from getting the explosive plays that we talk so much about. Make you drive the football, and it's hard to do over and over in this league. And just good, solid football team in every phase, offense, defense, and kicking game. Got players and are on a roll, as you mentioned, and have playoff aspirations of their own.
Again, this game against East Central marks the beginning to the second half of the season following the bye week for both yourselves and for the Hornets, for that matter. And we used the word approach earlier and how good it was for your team going into the Canyon game. What approach do you want to see from your football team as they hit the second half of the season? You keep talking about it's more about yourselves than the opponent. So what do you want to see from the Rangers in the second half of the season?
Well, just the nuances. You know, now that you've got some experience, you know, what are the little not talked about much details of my position and how I fit, and that can be, even though unnoticed by outsiders, that can make a pretty good play into an even better play, or stopping them for a 3-yard run into a zero gain. And you know, I think players become more football wives, and to continue that journey, not think that, well, you know, now it's midseason, I know what I'm doing, and you kind of put it on autopilot. We won't allow that, but I don't think our players want that, and so we want to get as good as you need to be to have a chance to win this district.
And finally, Coach, what keys do you foresee being the biggest ones when you get ready to take on East Central at Ranger Stadium?
Well, you know, we can go back and get some of my prior quotes on this when you asked before, but we'll have to keep Rosemont from going off. We can't, you know, we won't be able to let him go 60, 70 as many times as he's been able to do that. And I think, again, the kicking game, I thought that set the tone the other night. We blocked a punt early. That kind of play, that or a big return, or something along, and then take care of the football. When we're not turning it over, at the very least, we're punting them back and we're playing pretty good defense. So taking care of the football will be a big key as well.
Again, Smithson Valley will host East Central a week from this Friday at Ranger Stadium. That's a game we'll have for you right here on the Rangers Network. That's going to do it for this week's show. As always, for head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. Thanks for watching. This has been Inside Rangers Football. We'll see you next time.